Hi, my name is Quentin Steinhaus, and I wanted to show you today a little bit about the Court Forms Online project and how a Docassemble interview works. So what I'm showing you on my screen right now is the Court Forms Online website. As you can see, there's a listing of different categories. If we explore one of the categories, we'll get to an individual form. All information about the process that the forms will take you through. Start by jumping to one of the forms, which is an adult name change petition. I can show you what that looks like. This is a good model of one of the really complete forms that's part of this set of forms. So when I start the interview, I'm taken to a new page, which is a Docassemble interview. And as you can see, there are a number of elements of this screen that are common to all the interviews that we have. So we can create an account on the website. So if we click the sign in button, it will create an account. And on any given screen, I can press this button to listen to the text being read aloud. I'll show you what that looks like so you can see what that sounds like.
Ask the court to change your name on official documents. Court Forms Online. The Court Forms Online.
I can click a share button on any screen as well. And I can use that share button in two different ways. I can use it to just share a link to the website. So I can email or text that to somebody. Or if I'm in the middle of an interview and I want someone else to jump in and add their own thoughts to it or help me out on it, I can share them my actual progress on the form. On any page, I can also click this feedback button to tell the Court Forms Online staff that there's a problem on the site. So that might be telling them about a bug, just saying something that they want to fix, or just giving some positive feedback. And we've taken this chance to redirect people as well. If they say they're looking for more help, that's something that really can't be done through this site if they want to get an attorney. So we just redirect them to some resources where they may be able to find that information directly. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this form. You can see what the form actually looks like. So every form should really start with something like this right here, which is a little bit of an introduction that tells somebody what they need to know before they get started with the form, so that they don't get halfway through it and then find out they're missing something critical. But it also should tell them what's going to happen after they're done, so they understand how much of the process is left after they finish this part, which is just going to be answering questions and then using it to fill in one piece of the process. So here they need to know that they're going to need to get it notarized and file with the court. And also they're going to need this birth certificate and any other orders for their past name change. Another thing that most interviews like this that are online should include is a little bit of a screening process. So here, this is an adult name change petition. Someone can only use it if they're at least 18. And they shouldn't use it if they can get their name changed through any of these other means. So if they're getting married, divorced, or becoming a citizen, there's a much simpler way for someone to change their name. They really need to be in this other category of having some other reason to change their name to be able to use this form. So let's just see what happens if we gave a different answer here. We should tell someone exactly why they don't qualify, and that's what we're doing here. Let's go ahead as though we are qualified. All right, here's something else that you might want to do early on in the form is help triage somebody and give them specific advice that just matches their situation. So if someone is in jail on probation or parole or committed as a dangerous person, we can give them other specific advice. And we don't have to show everybody who uses the tool, just the people who fit that really narrow circumstance. Almost every form has this part of the process where someone is going to list their name. And here it's all about their name. We've chosen to really ask for the new name that they want, which is the affirming name that person has up front. And also provide help in context. So here someone might want to know what reasons to list, so we can give them some explanation, some examples of situations that might match them. Sometimes, very rarely, it's appropriate to give some kind of recognition to celebration. It's not appropriate to a lot of legal processes, but for a name change, it probably is. All right. So a tool like this is so much more powerful than a form because it can do something like here. We're thinking about 3 or 4 different forms that might be filled in depending on what someone needs to do with their name change. Here, there's a motion someone could include that asks the judge to waive publication of their name change. And if I answer yes here, I'm going to get that extra document. Why don't we do that? So I've taken that reason and then it turns into the affidavit. And here would be a good place for me to think and write down more details. We can include things like address autocompletion, which is so powerful to help people avoid mistakes when they're typing an address. If they don't include that accurate information about their address, they might not be able to get notices from the court, but it's so easy to fill a form in incorrectly. Using address autocompletion can help us avoid that problem. And another thing we can do with a form like this is if I said I changed my name before, the paper form only has room for so many name changes. Maybe I'm one of those uncommon folks who've changed my name more than 3 times. That wouldn't fit on the paper form, but we can create an addendum for somebody online. And I'm not going to do that for this demo. Powerful thing that we can do with someone's address is help them figure out what the right court to file in is. Such an easy place for someone to make a mistake that using this kind of tool can avoid. It took a lot of work to build this database of court locations and mapping them to addresses, but now that it's done, it can be used again and again by people all over the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Something that we've chosen to do here is to really prioritize the ability for someone to give the most important facts about the case up front before we start asking for really personal details like date of birth. That does go on the form. We do need it. We don't ask that as the first question until we've demonstrated some value and some trust for the person. Same with something like social security number. Notice here also that if I put in too many digits, like let's say I see social security number and started to type my whole number in, I'm going to get prevented from being able to move forward because that would be something I didn't want to disclose to this website if they didn't really need it. Now, here we've also integrated a fee waiver petition. So let's see what that looks like if I decide to find out if I qualify for the fee waiver. So let's take a really easy path here. Let's say I do receive one of these benefits that are listed. One of the most common ones being Mass Health, people who have lower income in Massachusetts who receive subsidized health insurance don't need to go through all the details of providing all of their income to qualify for a fee waiver. I'm going to get a chance to review the specific fees I'm going to be asking the court to waive. Now, as I go on, it's generating the documents for me in the background, which can take a few minutes, not a few minutes, but a few seconds at least. I get a chance to preview the form and see what it looks like before I do the final fill in. You can see all my information is there in the right place. What's missing is my signature, and I'm going to do that on the next screen. So, all right, going back here, if I need to make any changes, I could do that by clicking this button. Chance to review the information that I provided, and then continue. Of course, by doing that, it's going to regenerate the document because in case something's changed. So let's say I wanted to sign on my phone. At this point, I would get a chance to send it to my phone to get that final signature. Here, I'm just going to sign it on screen so you can see that. So the form asks for my legal name, but I want to validate their identity here. So I'm asking them to, I'm addressing Jane saying, okay, sign the name George Smith, because that's what the form asks for. And then I finally have a chance to review it. And you can see you can give a lot of really helpful information and context here too. First thing being, we asked for the court. We have a database of the court information, so we can tell them exactly who to call to figure out how to deliver the paperwork. We didn't get their town hall because that's really complicated for us to maintain, but it's something that you could do in a Docassemble interview. I can either download it as one PDF, or I can see all of the documents individually, or I could download it as a zip file. Something else that I can do is I can send a copy of the documents to myself by email. So if I click this button, it'll be sent to me directly in my email. I can also view each of the documents individually. So let's start by, one of the most important things you can do is to show somebody what's going to happen next. So every document that we build, by default, we're going to include this set of instructions that tell someone what to do next. They can read more about what to do as well. This is something someone might take with them when they leave the computer screen, so they know how to finish their process and get their form actually in the court. And of course, we have the individual documents that were created as part of this interview. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different documents that were created. Very simple process. As you saw, it took me about 10 minutes to go completely through it. It might have been much more complicated to gather and to complete all of these documents without the help of Docassemble. So there you have it. That's how Docassemble works. And that is how a model guided interview looks.